Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Google Business Profile. It's been called Google My Business in the past. Now it's the Google Business Profile in the last year or so. It's also got a new look here. It used to be that it took you you go to business.google.com and it takes you to this kind of back end look. Now it's actually right on the front. Like if you just type in your practice name, you should see this box right here along the right side. And as long as you're logged in with an account that can access this, you'll be able to see all this extra information as well with how to edit your profile and such. So I want to walk you through what we do here. These are like the things that we go over here. There's some really, really basic stuff. There's some stuff that honestly, it feels basic to me, but I see almost no one doing it as far as dentists go. Almost every single dentist we bring on doesn't have these things. And so these are the kind of things that will give you a huge edge over your competition and kind of push you up into that top 3 spot. And honestly, we've had clients respond very, very well to even just doing these things in the first 2-3 weeks of working on them. So first off, what you're going to look at is if we look at these icons all right across right here on the left, those are the places that we're going to edit everything that's over here on the right side. So I'll walk you through each of these. I'm not going to get too in depth here. We could look at every single one in its own video. Not going to do that. But basically what we're going for here, the number one goal is 100% completion. Basically, if Google asks it, we need to fill it out. Even if it's a little bit of a stretch as to whether it applies, I'll show you where that is in a second. Even if it's a little bit of a stretch as to whether it applies to you, you want to make sure you fill it out if you possibly can. So first thing here is edit profile. That's going to ask you for stuff like where's your address, what's your phone number, what's your website, where's your, like, do you have a link for appointments? Make sure you fill out every single piece of information. You need to have the website on there. You need to have the phone number. These are obvious, but make sure if you have an appointments link, put it there. If you don't have an appointments link, like a Locomed or something, put your contact page. If you have a COVID page, put that. It asks you specifically for a COVID information page. Put that. Basically, just like I said, fill it out to 100% completion. Read reviews. I'm just going to go down these icons one at a time because really there's something I can say about almost every single one. So read reviews. Again, with the completion, you will get reviews. You have reviews. You're going to get more reviews. As you get reviews, respond to those reviews. That matters. It matters to people because they'll see it. It matters to people that are reading the reviews because they'll read through and see that you're responsive to your reviews. And it matters to Google because they will also see it as well. Messages. You can enable messages. I don't know if you knew this, but you can enable so that when someone's on their mobile phone, they can actually text you straight from the Google app. It goes straight into your Google app. It'll show if you have it on your phone, it'll pop up a notification. There's a couple other ways that you can push those into other places. Our pipeline services teams takes care of actually managing those for our clients. The point is, if you can accept text messages and monitor them, you should turn this on. Next up is photos. It seems basic, but I can't tell you the number of practices I see that don't have enough photos or don't have any photos in some cases. So first off, make sure you have a logo in here and make sure that when you click this, it is selected as your logo. Second thing is the cover photo. So there's 2 options. There's an option for a logo and an option for a cover photo. Make sure you have a cover photo. That's going to be what shows right here in this slot for the most part. Now it's not guaranteed, but typically that's what's going to show right here as the primary photo. The third thing is number of photos. If you have 10 photos, you're okay, but honestly, you need more photos. The more, the better. Quality does matter. You want to have good photos, but you don't need a photographer to get really good photos. What you want is photos of people, ideally of patients. You can avoid having patient faces, just have the backs of them or whatever. And you want staff smiling. You want staff interacting with patients. You want pictures of what it is like to be in your office. As far as the number, we've seen a lot of correlation between having more than 100 photos in your business profile and ranking in the top 3. So there's a very strong correlation with a large number of photos. We're not talking 10 to 15. We're talking 100 plus is kind of the ideal number. Performance is just where you see kind of what's happening in your profile, how many views, how many calls come from it, etc. Advertise is if you want to pay Google money. It just pushes, it's basically just a dumbed down version to Google Ads. It's not super effective. Unless you're having someone that knows how to do it, run it. Insurance is the next piece here. So most of the time as a dental office, it will show this insurance option here. Literally, it's a list out of all the plans that you accept. Now, you can have someone from your front desk go through and just check boxes of all the plans that you accept. There's literally hundreds here. So if you have an hour for someone to sit down and do this, that's great. If this changes a lot, you may not want to avoid it, or you may want to avoid it. Typically what we do is we pick kind of the top PPO plans that people like to take and plug those in here. Because like I said, it's not just, oh, do you take Blue Cross Blue Shield or do you take Delta? It's like you take this specific plan, and like Blue Cross has 30 to 50 plans, obviously. And there's all the regional ones on top of that. And so it's a big long list that is really frustrating to go through. But if you can, I would suggest trying to at least put some feedback into here, because again, if Google's asking for it, you should answer it. Next on here, edit products. Now, products and services go kind of hand in hand. Basically, when you click into this edit products, it's going to ask you what products you provide. Now, products and services in the case of a dentist are basically synonymous. So we're going to go in and put in all the products as all the services that a dentist provides. Same with services. We'll put in all the services that that dentist provides. A little bit different format. The products right here go right here. So you can see teeth whitening under cosmetic dentistry. So it asks, basically, it'll ask for a category and then a service or a product, and then it'll ask for a photo for products. So products equal photos. Services equals text and categories. So products go right here under products, as you can see, products. The categories, if you click through to the cosmetic dentistry, you'll see a list of what services are provided, like cosmetic or like teeth whitening or veneers or whatever else, right? So they're both very, very similar. Fill both of them out as completely as possible. The rule of thumb that we follow is if it is on your website, it should be in your products and it should be in your services. Let's see, anything else on that? That basically covers that. A lot of the times for these products, we use stock photography. If you can use actual photography, I mean, you want to have the photos match whatever the service is or the product is, right? So if you have some Invisalign photos of like your doctor or yourself holding Invisalign in an Invisalign box or something, that would be kind of like the ideal that we're thinking of, right? But it does get kind of hard with different services to have specific photography around it. A lot of times dentists don't have that by default already, whereas stock photos, we have plenty of that kind of stuff. So either way really works. In any situation, I would always prefer a real practice photo to a stock photo. That applies back up here in the Add Photos section too. Okay, last two things. We're getting to the end here. I know this is racking up some time, but Q&A. So Q&A, make sure you fill out the Q&A. There's a couple things here too. So when you open up this Q&A section, it pops up and it'll show any questions that have been asked in the Q&A section. So you can see down here, see all questions, ask a question. Someone comes in here and asks a question, that would pop up. It would send you a notification and say, hey, here's a question. You could then answer the question. What most people don't know is you can ask your own questions. So go in here, hit ask a question. As the practice, it shows the practice, like it shows your name if you're logged in or whatever you're logged in as. And it will say the practice is asking whatever. So we seed we seed all of our practice Q&As with a specific set of a few questions. We'll ask things like, are you open on Saturday? Do you give free consults for dental implants? Do you offer Invisalign services? Do you see patients in XYZ city? Do you see patients in Phoenix? Do you see patients in Chicago or Naperville or whatever? And we'll seed usually with like 10 or 15 questions, and then we'll go back and answer those questions. So that way, when someone does come to this, they'll see, oh, there's a bunch of questions. They'll click in, they'll see all the questions you want them to see. It does make it more likely that people will ask more questions, which is good. But also, it's seeding what the person's going to see when they come in here and see this questions and answers section. Now, the last thing is this add update section. So when I hit add update, it's essentially as if it was like a little like blog or social media almost. If you guys remember Google Plus from a long, long time ago, this has kind of been what's been put in as a replacement for Google Plus to a degree, for businesses at least. It's just an opportunity for you to kind of have a feed. If you scroll down here, you'd see that there's posts that it shows. It'll show like updates, and a lot of companies will use it to show like, hey, we're doing this promotion, or hey, we have this event, or whatever. But I would suggest trying to post once or twice a week, maybe a little bit more. We usually set up 2 to 3 posts a week for our clients. The other thing to consider there is there's a lot of ways that you can actually automate these posts. What I would suggest is there's software out there. I know there's software that schedules these posts like Hootsuite and other things. But there's softwares that you can actually push the posts from one platform to another. So basically, every time I post to Facebook, it will push that post into the Google Business Profile here as an update, right? So there's things like that that make a lot of sense to do. They're super helpful and don't require any extra work on your part or your team's part. But either way, if you can get the updates pushed out, that's definitely something that I would suggest doing. That's everything. I know there's a lot we just went over. If you have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to shoot us a message in our Facebook group, and or post a question down here below. Thank you for watching.